It's now time to take a look at what's making the headlines in newspapers from around the world. It's our international press review with James Creedon. Hello to you, James.
Good morning indeed. So we're going to start with The Guardian this morning. I know you've been talking about it as well. And basically, it's a big story. NATO units left 61 migrants to die of hunger and thirst. Now, so claims Jack Schenker, who is in Lampedusa for The Guardian. Now, this is a story that goes back to the end of March, beginning of April. Basically, what he says is that a boat set sail from Tripoli with African refugees. Now, it was adrift in the Mediterranean Sea for 16 days before coming ashore on the coast of Libya. 72 people died during that time. Only 9 survived that horrific journey. Now, what they point out is that 18 hours into this journey, when the boat was about 180 kilometres to the northwest of Tripoli, it was aiming for the Italian island of Lampedusa. It made contact with a priest in Rome who runs a refugee organisation. Now, that priest then alerted the Italian Coast Guard to the fact that the boat was running out of fuel. The survivors on the boat then claimed that a helicopter was sent to them which dropped down water and provisions, assuring them that a boat to rescue them would come shortly. Now, we don't know which country sent that helicopter. Neither Italy nor Malta nor any country concerned has confirmed that. What we do know is that the Italian Coast Guard apparently claims to have alerted the Maltese to the fact that this boat was in their search and rescue waters. Now, what we do know is that no boat ever arrived, and that those on this boat waited for hours and hours and no one turned up. It was at this point running out of fuel. Now, for several more days, the boat ran adrift. It was being carried by currents, and around the 29th or 30th of March, the boat was carried near to a NATO aircraft carrier. Now, this is near enough to the coast of Libya, and those aircraft carriers, we can presume, were there because of NATO missions in Libya right now. Now, the boat's location was narrowed down to about 60 kilometres from Tripoli, and what they say here is that when it was in the vision of this NATO aircraft carrier, 2 planes took off and flew over this boat, and on the boat, some of the survivors were holding aloft young children who were babies, in fact, who were perishing as a result of lack of food and water. Now, they never came to the assistance of the people on this boat, and 72 of them ended up dying. Now, this is perhaps the most serious charge
against France, isn't it? It was in the end, I believe that the survivors washed up on the shores of Libya again. But yes. This information that you have about there being an aircraft carrier nearby, it looks like France may be in the firing line.
Well, I'll read out the exact paragraph because it isn't absolute fact. The Guardian, after extensive inquiries, has concluded that it's likely to have been the French ship Charles de Gaulle, active in the area at the time. The French Navy has initially denied that the carrier was in the region at that time. The Guardian then showed them media reports to the contrary, and the French Navy for now has not responded to that. Now, NATO has also commented, saying that it didn't get any distress call, and NATO will always answer distress calls at sea and is fully aware of its responsibilities in international maritime law, where, of course, you would be obliged to come to the assistance of these people.
But it's a tragic story.
It's a really tragic story, and shining the spotlight on a very big issue right now in terms of the new boat people, as many are calling them, coming across from Africa to Europe.
What does The Observer have to offer us this
morning?
Well,
it's actually, the Observer yesterday had an article that came out, I suppose, before this report, and is picking up on that. Arabic exodus likely to lead to tighter border controls in Europe. Now, I'll just read out 2 paragraphs. For years, the EU threw billions at the tyrants in Egypt, Tunisia and Libya, bribing them to stem the flow and to take back unwanted migrants. Now, even though the EU is now supporting the uprisings in the Arab world, the Guardian's Ian Traynor, or the Observer's Ian Traynor, says that as soon as the dust settles, the new regimes will be under intense pressure to take the money and sign up for more repatriation and deportation pacts. Now, I'll just very quickly like to point out an article in Jezebel, which is a US blog, just to change tone a little. Hillary Clinton photoshopped out of the Situation Room. Now, we all remember the photo that was all over the papers last week of Hillary Clinton hand over mouth in the Situation Room of the White House as that mission to kill Osama bin Laden was underway. Well, a Brooklyn-based ultra-Orthodox Hasidic paper, Der Zeitung, photoshopped her out because apparently they don't usually publish pictures of women, as they could be considered sexually aggressive, apparently. Now, if we move to the Daily Mail, they have very helpfully shown us exactly where Hillary Clinton was, and also Audrey Thomason, the director of counterterrorism who works with the Security Council. She was also photoshopped out of that photo. And I think the Daily Mail even has the original for those who were under a rock for the past week and didn't see it because it was all over the papers. Do we have those Daily Mail photos? I'm not sure if we do. But in any case,
I don't think we do.
In any case,
viewer's imagination.
we can all remember that she was featuring very prominently, hand over mouth, in the original photo.
Thanks very much for that fascinating insight into what's going on in the international press. James Creedon there, our press reviewer.